Hello world, this is Esheall. I'd like to discuss a common problem that interferes with proper deduction. The problem is we tend to move through life reacting to our thoughts as if they are facts, when in truth, they are just opinions that have come from our past experiences. We tend to favor one voice over the other in our head simply because it speaks in our favor. So why is this a problem? Because doing so causes us to ignore novel possibilities, miss counter arguments, and fail to connect contentions that may lead us to solve the puzzle. Well then, what is the proper method? Metacognition. To think about thinking. Metacognition amplifies the deduction process by freeing us from cognitive biases. The key is to question and rebut all our contentions. Begin by confronting a situation in which you would generally take outside help. Then spend time thinking on your own. You must look at the situation from an outsider's viewpoint. Then define all the objects in the scene and start the deduction process. While making deductions, you must take into consideration two things: the consequences and the unknown. Remember to place equal value on each contention that comes in your mind, and then think about its consequences. Also, while doing this, consider the effect of unknown factors. The good thing is that metacognition creates a feedback loop. The more aware we become of our thinking patterns, the better we can optimize them and thus amplify our metacognitive awareness. Now, the bad thing about metacognition is counterproductive awareness. It involves questioning every thought as it emerges, creating paralysis rather than improvement. To avoid this, we must set up periodic reflections in which we ask, what strategies did I use? What worked well? What could I improve next time? This retrospective approach allows us to gain insights without disrupting our natural train of thought. Here's an example. Walk into a room and notice two friends chuckling and glancing at you. Instantly, a voice in your head says, "They are talking about me, probably mocking something I did." You frown and sit away from it. Now let's slow this down. First, realize this reaction is just a thought, not a fact. You ask, what are other possibilities? Maybe they are discussing a surprise for me. Maybe one of them is going through something and just glanced at me by coincidence. We now list all the contentions. They are mocking me. In this case, you isolate yourself and damage friendships. Second, they are planning something. In this case, you expect something that may or may not come. Third, they are just talking. In this case, you stay neutral and open. Then factor in the unknown. You don't know their actual conversation. Thus, you can't draw a reliable conclusion until you gather more data, enough to reduce the effect of the unknown. Thus, the best option is to go and ask them directly about what they were talking. This, of course, was an imaginary example, but I do think it expresses my point. Observe and gather all the data you can before trying to make a deduction about it. Thank you for listening. This has been Logic Lessons with Esheall.